Fujifilm X-PRO4 probably will arrive in 2024. Let's talk about the specs that the Fujifilm X-PRO4 must have. Hi there and welcome to my channel. My name is Tudor Matescu, and in this video I want to share with you my desired specs on Fujifilm X-PRO4. They really need to address the Nikon ZF camera. So let's see how Fujifilm X-PRO4 can keep up with Nikon ZF, that it's a full frame camera. But first of all, you really need to know that even if Nikon ZF it's a full frame camera, the system is much bigger, much heavier, and it can't be compared to X-Pro series camera because the X-Pro series camera has an optical viewfinder. So make a good optical viewfinder. Make it better than on X-Pro3. Make it better than on X-Pro2. The X-Pro2 optical viewfinder had 2 magnifications. This doesn't have 2 magnifications. I'm liking the viewfinder. I didn't have problems with it, but users that upgraded from X-Pro2 to X-Pro3 complained about the optical viewfinder and said that the optical viewfinder of X-Pro2 was more usable, was better because it was a larger optical viewfinder for the 18mm lens, but also when you are using a 50mm lens you had a better magnification. So anyway, as an X-Pro3 optical viewfinder user, I'm liking this optical viewfinder, no problem, but make it better on X-Pro4. Let's talk about the manual focusing on Fujifilm X-Pro4. Well, on Fujifilm X-PRO4 I want the options that are on Nikon ZF. So when you are manual focusing, punching on the subject, punching on the eye, and have that option also in the hybrid viewfinder. So you'll be able to use the optical viewfinder with the hybrid viewfinder and have that punch at the right spot. So a problem that I have now with the hybrid and optical viewfinder is that I don't have that hybrid viewfinder, that little patch at the right spot. So I must adjust and I must adjust. Make the hybrid viewfinder, that patch, a little bigger if it's possible, and have that manual focusing on the right spot, and also make it work on IAF and on face detect. So like on Nikon ZF, but with optical viewfinder and the hybrid viewfinder, and also in electronical viewfinder. So having this on Fujifilm X-PRO4, it will make a unique, extraordinary camera. And more than that, the X-PRO4 must have this option. This is the right camera for focusing like this. It's better, if you are asking me, compared to Nikon ZF for this kind of options. So this is, for me, the camera that must have this system on it. Next, let's talk about the sensor. 40 megapixel sensor or 26 megapixel sensor. Well, this is a debate here. I feel that for a long-term shooting and for a camera that you want to have it on you for long-term shooting, you would want the 40 megapixel sensor, even if some older Fujifilm lenses don't resolve the 40 megapixel sensor. But you'll not have that great AF like on XS20 and on XH2S, and also you'll have problems, how I've said, with different lenses. But Fujifilm is bringing new lenses on the table that are resolving the 40 megapixel sensor. So I don't know. I feel that if you want a camera to have it on you for the next 3-4 years, you would want the 40 megapixel sensor. So let's say we are okay with the 40 megapixel sensor, but you need to bring the lenses. And if you are not able to bring the lenses on the market, bring a firmware update and release X-PRO4 with that firmware that will offer you the chance to save the RAW files in a small RAW files. So make a medium RAW file. I'm not saying make a sensor like Leica. So you could switch from 40 megapixel to 26 megapixel to 18 or 12 megapixel. But give us the option to save a RAW file in a small resolution. So when I want to use a lens that is resolving the 40 megapixel sensor, I will change the RAW resolution, but when I'm using a lens that is not resolving the 40 megapixel sensor, I will use a lower resolution for my RAW file. Let's talk about the screen. So the screen. Will Fujifilm make the mistake to make X-PRO4 with a flip out screen? Well, this is the question, because this implementation has a problem. I'm liking it a lot. It's a great implementation for photography. It's a great implementation, but it's not for everybody. And yes, this implementation will constrain you. So, in my point of view, there are two options. Go with this screen and resolve the ribbon problem, so the screen will not break on you because of this move, because you are making this move not just to chimp, but to shoot it as a waist level camera. And this is the best implementation for a waist level camera. It's great. It's totally great. I can make a video just about this way of shooting, just about this ergonomics. So, great ergonomics if you know how to use it and if you've used it. But if you don't find a solution for the ribbon, don't make it a flip out screen, but make it a normal tilt screen. So everybody will be happy. The next thing that Fujifilm X-PRO4 must have is IBIS. You really want IBIS on this camera now. So if you have a 40 megapixel sensor, the IBIS is helping a lot. So IBIS, it will be necessary. Lots of cameras have IBIS. I don't want an extraordinary IBIS, but a little IBIS that will help me have a better steady shot. It will be great. Next, keep the camera as light as possible. Don't make it heavier with 50 grams. Don't make it thicker. I don't know, keep it as light. Don't make it heavy as Nikon ZF or other cameras. I feel this is the perfect weight size balance for a camera that you take with you. It can be your everyday, but it depends on user and user. But it's a camera that you can shoot all day long. The weight, the ergonomics, all it's fun, all it's working great. It's working great in holidays, it's working great in travel photography, it's working great in street photography, it's working great in event photography. So I'm really liking the form and the weight, and I hope I will get the same form and weight, and why not a little lighter. Next, make the materials better, unscratchable, make them tougher, make the camera tougher, put their good weather sealing, make it tough, make the X-Pro must be a tough camera, because having a tough camera on you that will not make you worry about breaking it, this is what will make a great camera in the end, for taking it with you, no worrying about the camera and use it. So this is what I would want from a real everyday carry camera, a tough camera, a camera that you can drop and the camera will still work without problems. A camera that it's really built like a tank, so no worries. You can use this camera as a brick and have no worries after that. So I would really want a tough camera. I think a tough camera, an X-PRO4 tough camera, it will be really something.
And by the way, I have a special newsletter dedicated to the passionate photographer. So if you want to learn more about photography tips, tricks, and all kinds of useful information for free, please subscribe to my newsletter, link in the comments and description.
Make the glass of the optical viewfinder resistant to scratches and to shocks and so on. So make the camera as tough as possible. I think this is a good feature to add to such a camera. Next, bring a new film simulation. Give us the latest film simulations here and bring a new film simulations here. And also make that clarity effect not to slow down the camera. So when I'm using the clarity effect, I want to take another picture. And I don't want to be slowed down. I'm liking from time to time to be slowed, but it's not something that I think it's okay on the long term. I'm liking the results with the clarity effect, but from time to time I'm choosing not to use it because I'm slowed down. So I'm losing at image quality at the end result of my JPEG because I'm deciding not to use the clarity effect. So make that firmware to apply the clarity effect without slowing down the camera and without making the camera overheat. And regarding video specs, I really do feel that X-Pro shooters don't need any fancy video specs. So this is what I want from a Fujifilm X-PRO4. I don't want a rangefinder mechanism because it's not possible. Fujifilm doesn't have such lenses. There aren't such lenses for this camera. So let's be real, but manual focusing like on Nikon ZF, it will really make the X-PRO4 camera very special. Now please check my next video about Fujifilm, subscribe to my channel, give it a like and leave me your comments, and also use my affiliate links if you want to buy something from the gear that I'm using. Links in the comments and description.